a scientist.
Suffice it that the blood of 1,000 men and women was spilled within these walls. Limbs twisted and broken, eyes gouged from bloody sockets, flesh burned black.
Please. You'll wait for death. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes. What you have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is June 1st, 2014.
And welcome to World of the Unexplained. I know it sounds crazy out there because I'm here by myself and I've got all this stuff that I'm trying to do and it's just not working out because J. Scott is by himself. There is no Trent Lackey. He's on his way. There is no Chuck Browder. He's in another state. And there is no James Clements to help us tonight. But that's okay because I brought something even better with me. I've got our old time friend, Jason Offutt. I'm going to bring him on. Jason, I've got something to tell you about Jason too. Today is Jason's birthday. We're going to address that later. Are you with me, sir?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I figured out what was wrong.
That is awesome.
I had the volume button. I had the fader down on the line. I'm like an idiot now. Great. This is what it's like to run a board and the computer and the yeah. What's going on, man? Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you. We my family and I just got back from my favorite Mexican restaurant in town, and I am pleasantly full. I feel great.
That's awesome. Well, tell me what's new with you, man. I know I heard you got some more book deals and other stuff coming out. Enlighten us.
Yeah, well, I have. I've been working on novels. I wrote a zombie apocalypse novel, and the publishing company who decided to pick it up liked it so good they signed me up for a 3-novel deal, which was fantastic.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, well, it was terrific. Yeah, it was my first novel, and I get a three book deal.
That's great.
Yeah, which is amazing. I'd also, while I was shopping that book around, I'd written another book. It's sort of a nerd romantic comedy. And I got it picked up like a month and a half ago from a different company. So I've got 4 novels that are going to be coming out in like the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I'm doing great, man.
That's good.
How are things at WOTU?
Oh, right now they're in shambles. The fires are burning. I've just put the smoke all in the room. I don't know what's going on. Trent is running late, so and then I don't know what happened to James. He was supposed to be here, and I guess he thought that we were taking this week off instead of last, and I have no clue, honestly. So I'm here by myself. This is the first time this has ever happened. Well, no, I take that back. It happened one time back in, I want to say, November or February or January years ago when we were carried by KFNX out in Phoenix, Arizona. I remember I remember
that, yeah.
Yeah, we got something like 4 inches of snow, like when the show was getting ready to go on. I had to do it by myself. My wife was actually trying to help me, and we were trying to get it done, and it took off, but it was hard. So this is not a one-man operation. We've got a board. We have a telephone hybrid. We have a studio board. We have we've got a CD player, the old school kind, and we've got a broadcasting program, kind of like Prophet, that they use at the radio station. So we've got all this that runs together, and we can just load it up, and it'll play songs, but it runs through all of this too. So it's just it's a lot to do. But Other than that, all right.
You could have a cart machine and a 33 1/3 turntable.
I agree. No, it's not. I remember the old school carts, man. That was crazy. You load them up.
Yeah.
But I know, man. I'm actually, I go every year to this conference in Cambridge, and I'll be going to that. And I go, I go to another conference in Vegas, which I always like to go to for work. But this year,
for work,
it is. But this year, I'm actually for vacation. I've decided to go to St. Martin and St. Bart and that other little island that I can't pronounce. But I found it astounding when I picked the spot. My friend of mine said to me, hey, that's the place where the Yoda guy lives. And I said, the Yoda guy? I said, what are you talking about? He said, the guy that actually created the puppet for Yoda. He lives there on St. Martin. He's got a little shop there. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm going to get this guy on the show, or try to first, and then I'm going to go visit him this summer when I'm out there. So...
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's terrific.
This is a weird thing, I mean, who of all people, who would you thought, lived in St. Martin? Some guy that made the Yoda puppet for the movies. That's pretty crazy.
Well, it's really, don't take for granted any place you go to as being, other people shunning it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many cool places where famous people have lived, or at least if not famous, at least important people have lived. Like, for example, in the town where I live, it's 12,000 people.
Oh, big city.
Big city in the corner of Missouri, one of the corners. And come to find out, there's a guy buried here. He was he grew up near St. Louis, and he joined the Confederacy in the Civil War.
Wow.
And his commander asked him to take some letters to his wife, and when the guy was writing to take these letters to this commander's wife, he got captured by Union troops and was tried as a spy. And he was tried a couple of different times. One of his good friends growing up happened to be a Union senator, and the senator was able to get him retried 3 times, and he was found guilty every time. But the last ditch effort that this senator had was to go to talk to President Lincoln and ask for a pardon. And Lincoln was all dressed up because he was ready to leave the White House, and he wrote a pardon, hand wrote it, and pardoned this guy. And then Lincoln and his wife went off, and then Lincoln got killed at the play at My American Cousin.
Sure.
So and then this guy, the Confederate who was tried for treason or being a spy, moved to this town where I live.
Wow.
And he died of old age here. So the guy who was the last official act of President Lincoln is buried, within a 3-minute drive of me.
That's really cool, man. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, just anywhere you go, there's history like that everywhere.
That's amazing.
It counts as history.
Well, I put on the website that the topic tonight, we were going to talk about Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and more. So only with you can I get away with that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
We play Good Vibrations now every show at the break because it's just so funny. It started out as a joke, and it's just been one of those long lingering things that we do that's stupid. But yeah. So anyway, wait, I've got a special gift for you on your birthday. Hang on just a second, okay? Since I'm by myself, I have to cue this up myself across the room. Hang on just a minute. You hear that?
Yeah, sort of.
That's Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday" to you. Actually, to the president.
I can't hear it well enough to make that out.
Oh well, I had it turned up really loud. It's on the other. I couldn't get it into this computer in time, so I just queued it up on YouTube.
I can make that out now. Yeah.
All right. Well, hang on. Let me turn that off. So there we are. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that was my joke of the night. So tell us about your blog, tell us about your books, tell us about all the stuff that's been going on lately.
Well, I've been the whole novel thing has been what's going on. I've been delving in. I mean, from the paranormal side. I've been writing articles. I haven't been writing any books lately. One of the most talked about things that I've been doing has been a show on Discovery. I've been on 3 episodes of Monsters and Mysteries in America this season, mainly talking about gnomes and Momo, which is a Bigfoot monster that there were a number of sightings in Missouri back in the early 70s. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been doing some paranormal TV stuff, which has been pretty awesome.
How much of that do they actually film that they don't use?
Well, when it comes to shooting stuff for TV or movies like that, they shoot so much that they don't use.
Yeah, I figured that. They probably spent at least an hour with you, and we get to see you for all of 10 minutes, probably.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the times they spent with me was at least an hour apiece. One was about an hour and a half, and I was on screen maybe 2 minutes, a minute and a half, and one was about 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
So when are you getting a pilot, man?
Oh, I don't know. I was contacted a couple of years ago by a production company. They were doing a show. They were dealing with sci-fi and had everything, almost arranged. They just had to go through a couple of hoops, at the end of this process. But they were doing a show where they were looking for ghosts and other paranormal entities in shipwrecks.
Huh. Okay.
And they were looking for people to host. So they were looking for a variety of different type of experts, and I was going to be one of those. And it never made it on Sci-Fi, but I was almost the host on one of those shows, which would have been freaking awesome.
That'd have been cool, man. I like that. I know, my friend Josh Warren. I don't know if you're familiar with Joshua P. Warren. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I sure am.
Well, he's living like half the year now in Puerto Rico, and the other half of the year he's living in Asheville, North Carolina. But him and another friend of mine have put together so many different they call them sizzle reels for the different television stations. They used to have a show called The Paranormal Paparazzi, I believe, on the Travel Channel. I think it was Travel. I might be wrong, but the show was called Paranormal Paparazzi, and they were doing that for a season or two. And then that went away, and then they're just constantly thinking of ideas to shop to try to get another pilot. But TV is really interesting. It's a lot different from radio, and I'm sure it's a lot different from publishing. But it's very interesting stuff. Now, have you been offered, or well, not been offered, but have you been approached by anyone about concerning maybe taking some of your fiction to the big screen or anything like that?
I was actually yes and no. It wasn't fiction to start out with. I taught a class, and you actually called me in a cemetery.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, you in the class.
Yeah, I had a class called Paranormal Journalism, which basically was designed to teach. But okay, let's take a step back. The class was from an annoyance that I had, and the annoyance was that the mainstream media, whenever they covered a paranormal topic, they made fun of it.
Sure.
Whenever it was somebody had seen a UFO. I mean, whether it be Stephenville, Texas, or Phoenix, the big sightings there, they would play the X-Files music.
Yeah.
During the piece, if somebody had seen Bigfoot, the newspaper article would mention Harry and the Hendersons, or Ghost, they would mention Ghostbusters. That completely discounts
any credibility.
Everything the person. Yeah, the credibility is gone. They're making fun of the person who saw something, and that frustrated me. So I wanted a class to show a young group of journalists that this stuff, people see things, people experience things, and you need to cover them as a journalist as seriously as you would as a car accident, or a city council meeting, or regular hard news. This stuff is not a joke. And during that, yeah, I had my students out on a field trip at a cemetery at about I don't know what time it was. It was dark, 10 o'clock maybe. but that class gained some attention, and I got a call out of the blue. I have no idea how this dude got my number. I got a call out of the blue from this guy. He lives in Florida, but he's a movie producer.
Huh.
And he wanted to talk to me about a potential movie about a paranormal journalist.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't go much farther than that, but at least I talked with a movie producer about something, so that was pretty cool.
Well, you're no Dean Koontz yet, but it's.
No, if I can get to that point, that would be pretty cool. Even though I don't really want to talk about Dean Koontz too much.
Yeah. Are you still teaching that class, paranormal journalism?
It was a one-time offering.
Okay, I'm sure that the kids probably maxed that class out, didn't they?
Oh yeah, it was filled in. I mean, when it was open, it was filled in minutes.
Wow.
When they were able to sign up, it was done.
Do you want to make it available again, or does the school just not like it, or you don't know?
I haven't offered it again. I've had students clamoring for it. I probably should at some point, but I've got so many other regular classes that I need to teach.
Sure.
So students can actually graduate on time.
Oh, come on, who needs that?
I've had a hard time fitting it in.
It took me 9 years to get an undergraduate degree. I mean, hey, I had a good time though.
Yeah, let me quote Animal House. 8 years of college down the drain.
Exactly. But I had a good time. I know how to use an apostrophe and a semicolon and all kinds of neat stuff.
As long as you don't use, as long as you use accept and accept right, not accept and accept, but affect and effect right, and you never use an exclamation point, we're on good terms.
Well, I also use further and farther correctly.
That's awesome.
Elements of style.
I also teach my writing students how to use who and whom.
Ah, I see. That's a big deal. I mean, people just don't. I don't see how they graduate from college anymore. Honestly, I really don't. But I think we've dumbed it down some. Maybe I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
No, it has. But the entire education system is. There are so many. We have my university's got agreements with universities around the world, so we get a lot of exchange students, and their mastery of the English language is great.
They didn't grow up here.
They didn't grow up here. It's their second language, and it's terrific.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know if you ever watched Bill O'Reilly.
Not really. No,
Okay.
I used to listen to his radio show. He cracked me up. He's pretty funny.
Well, he's got a guy that he calls Waters is the guy's last name. He has a segment called Waters World, and it appears every, a few weeks or so. And Waters goes around and he interviews all these people on the streets about, things that normal people should know about. Like the last one
I just saw a clip. I saw a clip from that. He was interviewing girls on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
People on the beach. Yeah. That was hilarious.
And he did one for Memorial Day, and he said, well, the Revolutionary War, who were we fighting? And about 8 people said China.
Well, that's the one I saw, and I think the rest of them said France.
Yeah, France. I think somebody said Spain, maybe. It was just horrible. It's just like, really? Come on, folks. What happened to America here? We've dumbed down the education.
I love seeing bits like that. There are some other people other than O'Reilly who do that, and on one hand they're hilarious, but on the other hand, holy crap, dude!
I know, really. I mean,
I know.
You know how we got in this mess now? People are just they're dumb, and it's sad. It really is sad. But
there are. Let me also say that I've had so many students that are just top notch.
Sure.
I get a lot of really top notch kids.
That's good. How's the weather been out there in Missouri as of late?
Mid-80s and slightly humid.
Now, do y'all get a lot of you get tornadoes in your area?
Actually, yeah, my hometown about 2.5-3 weeks ago. I think it was a EF2. I saw a video of this. It formed right outside of town, and I watched the video of this tornado plowing into my hometown and ripping the roofs off of the high school and all sorts of buildings, and nobody got hurt.
Well, that's good.
Which was awesome.
Oh, so, I mean, is it a common occurrence there where you live, though?
No, not really.
Okay. Well,
It's not like I live in some godforsaken place like Kansas.
or Oklahoma.
Well, I like Oklahoma, but I live right next door to Kansas, so I can make fun of them as much as I possibly can.
Well, cool. So, yeah, I'm not asking what that is.
I have no idea. What, did I make a noise?
No, it's like a piano or something in the background.
Oh, yeah, my family's upstairs watching an episode of Married with Children, and what's going on?
Cool. So, how old are you today? Are you going to let us know that?
I'm 49 years old, dude.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
Yeah, don't think I didn't say that this morning when I got and looked in the mirror.
49?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you look good for 49, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
I would never thought that. I would have thought that you were closer to my age than that. Honestly, I'd have gave you 10 years less.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot, which is awesome. Except for I'm actually 49.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got friends that are your age too, but you look a lot younger than they do. So this is good. But 40, I would never have guessed that. Well, we do hope you have a happy birthday.
Well, I've had a fantastic birthday.
So you went to your favorite Mexican restaurant?
Yeah, I did. I went and had tacos carne asada and some beer, and now I'm here.
Oh, cool. We got you after the beer.
Yeah, and during.
Oh, good. Are you out for school, or are you teaching summer this year?
I'm teaching summer, but I'm teaching online, which is nice.
So that's good.
Because I can grade in my underwear.
Well, you don't like a blackboard system or something like that?
Yeah, it's something. It's similar. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So do you actually have to teach any live? Is there a live portion in any of these classes that you have to go in for? Or?
No, I mean I communicate with the students every day, but it's not any sort of live lecture sort of thing.
Well, that's cool. That's nice. Well, Jason, we're gonna put you on hold here for just a second, and basically, actually, I'm gonna take a short break if that's all right with you, and I'm just gonna call you back now that I've figured out what's going on with this system. I can probably call you, and probably it'll work. I'm thinking, if that makes any sense.
Hope.
All right, so I'll give you a call back here probably in about 10 minutes. Does that sound cool?
Okay, and yeah, that's awesome. But during those 10 minutes, I don't want you to dwell upon the fact that Ann B. Davis died today.
The what?
Ann B. Davis died today.
Ann B. Davis.
Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, you're kidding me! I did not know.
Wow.
I've not read the news today.
Character.
I usually read the news every day. I didn't know. It must have been actually later than later during the day. I usually read in the morning. So, interesting. Oh, well. Well, we'll see you in just a moment. We're here with Jason Offutt, and you guys can call in when we come back from the break. We'll be back, World of the Unexplained, right after this. I've got it on auto. Let's see here, man. There we go. We're on. Yeah. Making weird noises. Let's key him on here.
All right.
Hope he's with us. We'll see. Jason, you there? Hello, Jason? Oh, man.
Well, the red
This is
light's
happening again. Yeah.
The red light's on.
I know the red light's on, and this is up.
Oh, wait.
Well,
Hello?
all right.
Is that phone?
That means no. Okay. Talk to him, Trent. I'm going to try to get him back online.
Okay.
January, February, March, April, May, June.
What's going on?
Great. This is why you don't leave us in the studio without everyone here, because, yeah, bad things happen when we're left. I'm going to try to call him back.
Okay, well, we for you guys who are listening, we're trying to get Jason Offutt online, talking to him about shadow people. It is ridiculous. Shadow people, and his a couple of his new writing projects.
Bring him right in.
Okay.
Ask him who's there.
Are you there, Jason?
Yeah, what is that?
All right.
Trent Lackey?
I don't know.
We don't know what's going on.
I just felt like we were citing a couple of months of the year over and over again. Just now.
It's picking
Just
up
in
all
case
these
we
audio
forgot.
files that we have, and it's just playing them at random. It's great. It's like played some like noises, like we've got all these noises. Like, sorry.
Stop. Happy birthday, Jason, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Oh. Whoa. Okay. You go ahead, Scott. I'm just going.
I don't know. Let's talk about black-eyed kids. What about that? We haven't done that in a while.
All right, yeah. What about them?
What's the last thing you wrote about those that phenomenon?
Probably there was a guy in Pennsylvania. I think it was in Philadelphia. Actually, he was driving to talk to a friend of his in Philly and just to hang out with him for the night. And he parked in the parking garage of his friend's apartment building. So they hung out, had a couple beers, and he had to drive home because it was about an hour drive. And he went out to his car, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And he got in his car, and he was a little bit nervous as he was getting into his car because there were a couple of people standing in the shadows. And it kind of freaked him out, but he got in his car, so he felt pretty good. And they approached him, and his car wouldn't start. And his window was down just in a couple inches.
Oh, wow.
And they approached him, and they started, it was a kid about 16 and another kid about 14. The kid about 16 was the one who was talking. And, just like all, these black-eyed kid encounters, the guy was an eloquent speaker, way too eloquent for 16 years old. And he was really, really confident. He was asking the guy to give him and his friend a ride. And the guy in the car was just kind of freaked out. He felt really weird about these two kids. And one of the things that really bothered him is that these kids were wearing ball caps and jerseys from the 1980s.
Oh, wow.
And they were not, old. They were not from the 1980s. Okay, because they weren't old. They weren't worn. They were faded. They looked brand new. But they were from team logos and names from the 1980s. And this really, really bothered him. The kids started getting really insistent. You have to give us a ride. And then the guy noticed their eyes, which were completely black like a shark's. And this absolutely freaked him out, and he, his car finally started. He played with it. It finally started, slammed it in reverse, and popped in his drive, and he shot out of the parking garage, and he started feeling better. He still had an hour drive home. He stopped at a stoplight. The next, like a couple blocks away, there was a stoplight. He stopped, and he looked over, and these two kids were standing on the corner. And they started walking in the middle of the street to talk to him.
Wow.
And he punched it and ran through the stoplight. It was, like I said, it was after midnight, so there wasn't anybody around. And he saw them again at the next stoplight. He didn't see them anymore, but he was terrified his entire drive home.
Wow.
My gosh, that's a really disturbing story. Yes.
I saw L.A. Marzulli's Watchers 6, I think it was. Not the newest one, but the one before, where they had some stories where a guy talked about, his encounter with black-eyed kids. Had a couple of people talk about it. But, no one really knows where this phenomenon's come from. No one seems to know, what they are, but they all talk about this just overwhelming feeling of dread and this overwhelming persistence of these kids to either come in your house or get in your car. It's just really odd.
Well, I mean, do they follow the pattern of having to be invited into a place?
It seems that way.
Like this. I mean, is that what you found, Jason?
Yes, I've gotten, gosh, I don't know, probably, it's in the hundreds of reports that I've gotten from people about black-eyed kids, and it's all the same thing. If they're trying to get into your house, they have to be invited in. If they're trying to get into your car, they have to be invited in. If you encounter them on a lonely road someplace, they will ask you to follow them because they need help, and you have to agree to it. I mean, I really haven't talked to people who have let them in or who've agreed to follow them. Well, maybe because they're eating. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, where this came from, the earliest, at least online report was from a journalist in Texas. His name is Brian Bethel. It's like like 1998 or something. He posted his black-eyed kid encounter. It was, similar to a lot of the other ones, but it was the first. He stopped at a strip mall. He was going to pay his cable bill. It was he got off work, and it was really late at night. And he wrote his check out on the dash of his car, and he was going to slip it into the mail slot, and he noticed there were a couple of kids standing outside his car, and they were, they started asking, "Could you give us a ride home? We need money for this movie." And he looked over at the movie theater, which was really close. It was in the same strip mall, and the last movie had started like 45 minutes before. And it kind of bothered him.
Yeah.
And, the kids started insisting, you got to take us back to our house. We need money. And he felt himself, drawn to unlock the door and let these kids in.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I get from a lot of these cases. If somebody knocks on your door, it's one of these black-eyed kids, they feel compelled to open the door and let them in. And something at the very last moment tells them, I can't do this. Something's wrong here. I cannot open the door. That's what it was with Bethel. And when he saw the black eyes, the cold black eyes of these kids, no whites, no iris, just black, he backed out and then tore out of there. But he said, he wrote in his piece that he looked in the rearview mirror and he was, it took seconds for him to get from the parking spot to pulling out of the parking the parking lot. And he looked in the rearview mirror, and the kids were gone.
Huh.
These weren't there. And I actually talked to this guy. I've been on a couple of radio programs with him, and I've talked to him personally. And this still scares the hell out of him. He's like, I think every day I think I'm going to see these kids.
So this is something you believe he's sincere, or you believe he believes that he saw this stuff?
Yes, exactly. I believe that he believes that he saw this.
Okay. So, I've always wondered about some of these encounters that you come across that, maybe you get one mention of it and then you get 16 mentions of it because, maybe they're just like, kind of like copycat kind of storytellers where they enhance a myth that never really existed. But it is odd that it started in the late 90s and has continued to evolve.
Yeah, and it has, and it's not it's not local. It's not just here. I mean, I've gotten reports from people all over the United States, but also from Canada and Mexico and South America, and I got from Dubai, and I got a really creepy one from Australia, and one from England. I mean, it's all over the world.
Well, now speaking of England, I noticed at one time you would I guess you went over with your college class to England for a good amount of time.
Actually, at this time last year, I was in London.
How long did you stay there?
A month.
What were you there for?
I was teaching a class on travel writing.
Okay. Well, I bet that was fun.
Well, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, it was like the most amazing month.
James Clements, the guy that works on the show with us, he lived over there for over a year.
I am envious of James.
He's not here tonight. He forgot we were doing the show. So
yeah,
but
no, it was terrific. I had like my every side of my family except for one came from England.
Oh wow!
Way back in the day, the one that didn't came from Germany, and they ended up fighting, of course, in World War II.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have no personal turmoil, but anyway. Anyway, so I've always wanted to go to England, and when I got the chance, I made the most of it I possibly could. I went everywhere I could think of, not just the normal touristy stuff. I visited Douglas Adams' grave. If for the listeners who don't know who that is, he wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Did you go to Highgate Cemetery?
He's in Highgate Cemetery.
Oh wow, okay.
So right down the road from where Douglas Adams is Karl Marx's grave.
Oh wow.
Which was kind of cool because it was huge and stone and scary. It was just a big bust of him. But I interviewed people there about people who worked there about the Highgate Vampire.
Oh really? Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Well, because I know you've had the people, the principal characters on before. As a matter of fact, I still think I've got your MP3 downloaded someplace.
I reposted.
Yeah,
I reposted one of them, the Sean Manchester.
Yeah,
I've listened to those numerous times. The employees there are. I got it off the record. Yeah, it's creepy, but we're not supposed to talk about it. So officially, there's nothing going on.
Unofficially, though.
but unofficially, yeah. Back in the 60s, there were people who reported seeing a ghostly figure. Some people reported seeing this ghostly figure walking across the water of the pond, which
that
I
is
saw.
creepy.
I saw the pond, not the person walking across the water. But, the pond in the cemetery.
Hold on a second. No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Well, it's a really, oh my God, the cemetery. It's an ancient cemetery, and I mean it's not like a cemetery here at all, where there are definite plots.
Yeah.
Where there are tombstones, and you're like, oh, there's got to be a casket buried here. Well, here you've got a cross or some kind of headstone, and it's a big stone lid. So if you pry the lid off, there's something underneath there.
Oh wow!
It's not buried 6 feet under, and they're buried like right next to each other. It's like one of those cheap housing additions they put up where the houses are right next to each other. That's exactly what the cemetery was like.
Yeah.
Some of the lids, everything was so old there. Some of the lids had fallen over because of the ground settling, and you could see inside. But the caskets were mostly covered with dirt that had fallen in. Anyway, I was walking through the cemetery after I've interviewed a couple of the workers who really wouldn't talk, but it was really quiet, which was kind of bizarre because it's right next to, literally, a fence separates it from a school and a park, a big park where there were tons of people there and kids playing. Couldn't hear a thing. The only thing I heard when I was in the park, other than my students talking to me, was a raven. But I never saw. I just heard one caw.
Wow.
No, but the weird thing is, after the one caw, I was chewing gum and there was something crunchy in my mouth, and I pulled the gum out, and it was my filling.
Oh man! Ow!
So I was over in England, and I lost a filling in a cemetery where there was a vampire right after a raven cawed.
And you're going to get no help with your teeth in England. We all know that.
Yeah, it was just,
Sorry to the guys on the other end of the pond there. It's funny though.
Everything was that.
Wow. Oh man. So now I remember you I read a lot of your Blogspot stuff on that. Is that still up?
What, my trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's up. It's called. What is it called? It's called American Offutt in London.
That's it, American Offutt.
WordPress.com.
That's cool. Yeah, true. You should check it out. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, we've never been to England before. We went to Germany a long time ago in the 90s. We were young and virile.
It was acceptable.
I turned 21 there back in 1997 or whatever.
I turned 48 there.
Well, there you go.
That's crazy. Crazy. It's practically the same kind of story, really.
Yeah, except I wasn't in a cemetery and like
lost your filling after hearing
raven call. Yeah,
I don't think there was anything spooky on our trip in Germany at all.
No.
Scott appreciated German beer.
I did.
He used to drink Budweiser and think it was a good beer.
That just changed my whole outlook.
At least so was that.
Well, the beer part, because I'm a huge beer aficionado, I used to brew it quite a bit as well. And there's a beer that I had in England, Fuller's London Pride. I cannot find it over here. It is one of the best beers I ever had, and there's an Italian beer called Peroni that I had, which was fantastic.
Oh, we have Peroni here.
Peroni, yeah, I love Peroni. The two American beers that were at the grocery stores and at the pubs were Budweiser and Coors Light.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, Coors isn't too bad, but
I talked to some bartenders about this, and basically I got the same response from all of them. They said people will drink the Budweiser just for the novelty that it's from America. Nobody drinks Coors Light.
Huh. Except for the Americans, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Now,
Sure mine didn't.
Now,
we didn't go to McDonald's and we did not drink American beer.
Well, that's fun. Now, were the beers? Is it true that they serve them at room temperature in some places over there?
Well, it's yes and no. Yeah, the beer casks, the kegs are stored in cellars. So they're stored. They're served at cellar temperature. So whenever they're pumped up and poured into your pint glass, they're cool.
Okay.
They're not room temperature.
Okay.
But one of the best things about being in the pub is that the British pint, the Royal pint, is 20 ounces.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
we're totally shortchanged over here.
Yeah, we are.
Why did they do that to us?
Because it's Americans.
Oh, yeah.
The measurement is fantastic. Not only are the pints bigger, but you got things called hogsheads. That's a unit of measurement. They name all the measurements are named so fantastic. You know, you're the yard. You got an arm. You've got. I mean, body parts. I mean, body parts are names of measurements. I was shocked when I was looking into it that there wasn't a measurement called a penis. But everything else, measurement.
I'll have a tits worth of.
Yes, I'll indeed.
Oh wow.
What a tits worth would be.
I don't know. I'm not pretty sure.
It's some kind of a measuring cup. It depends on the depth of the cup. I mean, and then I'm sorry.
Well, and they have to have different sizes lined up, saying, "Okay, which one are you talking about?"
I like the Dolly Parton versus the
the American measurement or the
American measurement versus the. Okay.
All right, we're gonna stop.
Yeah. Wow. And this whole thing is totally digressed to.
But that's really, not the first time in the history of this shit. No,
not really. But.
Oh man, that's awesome! It really is. I wish I'd got on this subject earlier, man, because I'm sure you got tons of stories about England.
Yeah.
And
one of the greatest places that I went to was brains. Too much Mexican food and beer before I got on the air. Westminster Abbey. Oh my God! Well, it's okay. I'm walking through Westminster Abbey, and we've got. Kings and queens. This freaking Mary Queen of Scots is there. But going through this one big room, there are so many people buried there. I mean, there are knights, literal knights.
Yeah.
Okay, they're there underneath your feet because that's where they buried them, underneath the floor. And there are these big stones that are set down that you walk over that have carved into them who was buried there and what they were. And I mean, freaking Rudyard Kipling.
Wow.
Yep, I knew Kipling was buried there. Yes.
Yeah, and Charles Dickens.
Oh man,
it's like, you get these people, these great literary
giants
geniuses are right here. The one that really impressed me the most, though, is my feet standing there. Were I don't know how far down he was, but I was right over Sir Isaac Newton, one of the most brilliant human beings to ever live. I was right there,
standing over his dead body in a church. That's crazy. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't mean that like I'm not being flippant at all, but I mean just the remarkable. You're that close to someone that epic. Yeah,
I know. That I mean, it just floored me walking through that place, and it was just the same going through the British Museum, which was I did research on the guy who founded the British Museum, and he was also the guy who invented chocolate milk, which is brilliant. But I mean, walking through the British Museum, there were stuffed dodos. I mean, they haven't been around for
over 100,
500 years.
Yeah,
and we had dodos. I mean, there were all sorts of things like that. Walking through the Egyptian section and the Greek section, they had bits and pieces of everything. I touched a Moai statue from Easter Island.
An actual Moai statue.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
There was a sign that says "Don't touch."
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on,
But I'm American, and there was no glass around.
So we're gonna break the rules.
You'd sit there and go like, Yorktown, Saratoga, Yorktown, Cornwallis, yeah, I'm sorry, you probably should do that.
The Rosetta Stone was behind glass.
Oh, okay.
If it hadn't been behind glass, I would have licked it. Okay, but I mean, stuff like you got to think the British for over 350 years controlled 40% of the entire effing planet.
True.
Yeah, that's true. The sun never set on the empire.
So in London, in these various places, there are, history from everywhere. Brilliant history from everywhere. I touched the chin of the Sphinx.
Oh, wow.
Okay, part of the beard, it was there.
The beard of the Sphinx.
4,000, 8,000, however long these things were, how old these things are, were there.
You're just, okay.
You're never going to let me back into England. I'm saying I touched all this shit.
Yes, Mr. Offutt, I'm sorry, but we can't let you
passport is denied, sir.
I'm now on the no-fly list, yeah. What'd you do? I touched the Moai's privates, yeah.
Seriously. In which case you should say, Yorktown, and just keep on running. Yeah, Saratoga. I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking. Do you guys know Tim Binnall? Know the name?
Bernal, Bernal.
Binnall. He does a podcast out of Boston. Anyway, I've been on the show a couple of times, and I was talking to him about my trip to Stonehenge because I went there too. And I just dropped the S word. Is it okay if I cuss on this?
It is. We're on the internet, man. We're not caring about terrestrial anymore.
Okay, because I went to Stonehenge, and I've dreamt of seeing this, these monoliths since I was 8 years old. And I get there, and the vehicle bus I'm on pops over this hill, and I see it. And the first words out of my mouth are, "Holy shit." I really expected something better from me, but that's what came out.
Well, just sometimes you have no.
I had no control. No control. Okay, but I get there, and it's you hear people say that things are smaller when you see them than you expected. These weren't. Okay?
Yeah.
This was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Anyway, I was talking with Tim, as this guy was telling me about, and he went there in college, and he mooned Stonehenge.
Wow.
Which I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that, but that's still an epic story.
No, you touched it though, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't get within like 50 yards of it. They got fences.
Oh, okay.
Except this Druid woman, when I was there, was inside the fence because of some religious thing.
Well, just pretend to be one of them.
Yeah, just dress up.
Then you touch it, and then you leave.
Okay, but I wasn't dressed in robes.
Okay. Well,
I didn't have the cool Gandalf stuff that she had.
All right.
Well, you just walk up to her and say, "Yeah, I'm from the American
Druid Society.
The American Druid people." They didn't tell you I was coming.
Yeah, that movie Warlock 2.
Yeah.
That's where
it's an inside joke, man. We talked about it on the show a long time ago. I said the only thing I knew about Druids I learned from watching Warlock 2 with James Clements, back in the 90s. Yeah.
But that's crazy. At Stonehenge, do they have the? I know they have research where they say the thing was a lot bigger. Like there are other concentric rings away from Stonehenge. Are they trying to recreate those or show you that hey, this stuff went further out when you went there?
Yeah, they are. They do around the circumference. There's a place where they show how far things went, and actually, hinge means ditch.
Okay.
Stone ditch.
And they showed the ditch. There was also a place close by there called Woodhenge, which of course wood is not around anymore.
Right, because it was like Stonehenge, but made of like poles of wood. Yeah, okay. That's crazy. Yeah, and that's west of London, south and west, isn't that right?
Southwest, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's amazing. You know, there was something else as far as paranormal stuff. I can't remember. Maybe you can help me out, Scott. Or maybe you know, Jason. There's a real famous in London. There's a real famous picture of the white lady. You know, she's coming down a set of stairs. You know, they took the picture like in the '60s or something like that. And
that's not the brown lady.
And maybe it's the brown lady, but she's like this white, very feminine shape on the stairs, walking down. You know. And they took it like in the '60s.
I didn't know that was in England.
Yeah, it was like extremely iconic. I guess it was a brown lady then. Did you manage to do any kind of trolling for haunted places over there while you're at it?
No, actually, the only place that I went was that has a haunted reputation was Highgate Cemetery.
Okay, well, I mean that's good enough. I mean, honestly. And your tooth-filling, raven-cawing, total silence.
Well, listen, Jason, I know you can only stay with us for the first hour tonight. And we've gone over a little bit, but have a happy birthday. I'll get in touch with you via email, and we'd love to have you back on pretty soon, okay?
Hey, man, anytime. You know I love WOTU.
All right, yes, that's right.
You guys want me.
All right. Good deal, man.
Yeah,
have a happy birthday. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all right.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, good night.
And that was Jason Offutt. Sorry I had to cut you off there, but I didn't want his family to get mad at me because he had other stuff planned. So I was like, we're creeping up to 5 after now. Like,
Don't blame us.
Yeah. So anyway, listen, we may or may not have Chad Lewis coming on. We've been talking back and forth, and I don't know.
Yes, that's right about
responded.
Lake Monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if not, we'll get him on another night. But I don't know. He didn't respond to my last one. So because I told him at first that Jason had called and we were going to do the whole show, and then I got another email from him saying we could only do the first hour. So
chaos.
It is chaotic. So anyway, guys, you're listening to World of the Unexplained. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after this.
Jawohl.
And we're back. World of the Unexplained. Yeah.
This is where you say your name.
Oh, I'm Jay.
I'm Trent.
And we're back with no guest.
thousands of stop play. Yeah, it just suddenly happened. It's like
we're here by ourselves. The crew is gone.
Yeah, you know what? It reminds me of the old days.
That's right. It was just you and me.
Yep. And we were just you and your pipe dream.
That's right.
You always give me crap about, which is understandable because I'm such a Debbie Downer.
You are. You really are. Yeah, it was awful. I had to convince you.
I really haven't changed. I mean, I've tried to be more optimistic about things, but
yeah,
not very often it's like, oh, that's probably not going to work. Thanks for crushing my dreams, dude.
I appreciate it, man.
But obviously I didn't crush yours, so. In fact, I feel like maybe I was the negative force that forced you to make this thing brilliantly successful.
I remember the first show. I think we had like 2 listeners, if even that.
That's pretty exciting.
I don't even know if we have any live listeners right now, honestly. Pick up the phone if you want to call, 877-722-7382. That's toll free. Hear the recording, press the number 1, and it'll zap you right into here.
Literally zap you.
Zap.
Who was who was our first guest ever?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
God, that was a long time ago.
It might have been Planet X.
Planet X. It was that guy. Planet X.
What was it? I can't even remember his name now.
Yeah, but it was a Planet X.
Obviously, that Planet X thing didn't turn out when they said it would anyway. So
I'm very suspicious about people that predict the end of the world because
they're usually wrong.
A, they're not God, and B, they're not God.
That whole Mayan thing was a letdown, wasn't it?
Yeah. Unless we got the calculations wrong.
Yeah, possibly.
Let me drink some of this water real quick while Scott talks.
Obviously, I got the presidential election wrong back in 2008.
Who are you back in there? That actor.
Fred
Thompson.
Fred Thompson.
You're back in Fred
and
Thompson.
then I saw him perform at the at the debates, and it was just a horrific letdown. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's like, well, if someone gives you a script, then you're.
Yeah, he would have been great if he had a script.
But then, do we want a president who's running from a script?
I don't know the one.
And who's writing the script?
One could argue. One could argue with the teleprompters. We have that now.
I mean, really, do any presidential candidates still write their own material?
I know. I mean, I think everybody's got speechwriters nowadays.
That's ridiculous.
No, I mean, it's just what it is. It's a busy job, man.
Abraham Lincoln would throw his hat on the ground, and he would wrestle himself a speechwriter. You gonna do what for me? All right, son. Well, let's go to town.
Well, the world was a little different back in.
That's 2 out of 3.
A lot less things to deal with.
Yeah, this is my general statement for anybody who wants to travel back in time in the United States. There's at least 2 pieces of advice I can give you. Number 1, don't ever get into a pistol duel with Andrew Jackson, because he will kill you.
Never get into a telephone booth with Bill or Ted, or the 2 of them.
Neither one of those. And of course, never wrestle Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And I mean, generally speaking, that's what you need to do.
Those are good things to remember.
Yeah, Andrew Jackson's crazy. He's straight up crazy.
And Bill and Ted, they'll take you somewhere weird.
Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, and what's worse is like they won't.
You will have an excellent journey, though.
You will have. I remember the second one better than the first one. Because of the Reaper guy.
Yeah. Well, you can actually. I think both of these are available. At least last time I checked, both 1 and 2 were available for free on YouTube streaming. So, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and their Bogus Journey.
And it's so strange because Keanu Reeves.
Oh man,
he's never really changed his acting style since that. This is the Matrix. You're Constantine. Here's some demons. You're a samurai warrior.
The other guy I kind of feel bad for. Who was the other guy?
I don't know. He had a.
See if I can find it.
I don't have a phone anymore.
It's okay.
You
lost it.
Don't tell people that.
So he didn't lose it.
Oh, we're gonna get Laggy's phone. We're gonna find it. Oh, Laggy, big DJ guy. Got your phone. Oh, good. So now you know the self-destruct apparatus. Smoke will rise up. That's a good idea. Cell phone producers, create a self-destruct option.
The application that we can do via internet. It locates a GPS or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good idea. I had mine shut off, the GPS system.
Oh, that's
because I didn't want people finding me. And yet, ironically, I can't find the phone now because I deactivated.
Yeah, GPS. Exactly. The one thing that would have helped you. That's great.
Way to go, you anti-establishment, you Luddite.
Okay, this guy's name is Alex Winter.
Alex Winter. That sounds like an actor's name. Seems like he'd be in a lot more stuff.
Alex, well, we're gonna check. We're gonna check into that. Here, hang on. 1991, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where he was Bill.
That was a sequel, right?
Yeah. Then he played some guy named Ricky Coogan in a movie in 1993 called Freaked. Then he was a TV gangster in something called The Borrowers in 1997. Then he was an uncredited subway passenger in some film called Fever in 1999. He was in one episode of the Bones TV series in 2007. He was in some TV series called Saul of the Mole Men in 2007 for 5 episodes as King Mole Man. Ben 10, Race Against Time, a TV movie in 2007. He was a character named Constantine Jacobs. Ben 10, Alien Swarm, a TV movie from 2009.
Ben 10 is like a cartoon, though.
Oh, is it? I don't know. What
I think so.
It says Nanomech voice. And then in 2012, he was in Robot Chicken for one episode. And then in 2013, he was the assistant in a movie called Grand Piano. And that is it, man. You know, I mean, he's like the Luke Luke Skywalker to Han Solo kind of epidemic going on with, between
Mark Hamill,
and
in a series of movies that wasn't nearly as popular as Star Wars.
Yeah.
So like a third-rate Luke Skywalker to a third-rate Han Solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess so, but
that's terrible, Alex Winter. Why did you not become famous?
He
was in a TV show on MTV. briefly. I watched about 3 episodes because I guess that's all the episodes that they had. But he was like a sketch comedy thing, and it was in the mid '90s, late '90s, something like that. Yeah, and
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus. I mean, that's sad if you got that up. You got the movie poster at your house and you really hadn't really done much since then. It's like, oh yeah, I was
Bill.
I was Bill
Twice.
twice.
I was very popular.
Yeah,
20 years later,
here I am.
you doing
voiceover cartoon stuff.
Yeah,
that's terrible. It really
it's
is
terrible. Now, I'm not knocking voiceover cartoons. Stuff,
maybe we should invite him on the show. He might actually come tonight. World of the Unexplained. we have Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey. Alex Winter.
Well, he might have some ghost stories or something. You know?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be thrilled to talk to him. Actually,
yeah. I mean,
so if you're listening, Mr. Winter, please feel free to email us at worldoftheunexplained@gmail.com.
It's just like
We'll put you in here. We'll get you in the hot seat.
Yeah, in the hot seat.
We'll talk about your new upcoming stuff. Yeah. So anyway. So what's been going on with you?
You know what's been going on.
I know. Well, I mean, that I can talk about.
Oh.
I don't think you want me talking about that. What's that?
That co-host, he's a really sketchy guy. I'm not real sure what he's up to, but he clearly is he's traveling.
You've got EOGs coming up, right?
Traveling the path of Key Moon. Yeah, what?
You got EOGs coming up.
Oh my gosh.
That means you get like the summer off, man. I so envy that aspect of teaching.
That's the only aspect that's actually worth anything.
I get that.
But the fact that you could just kind of lay around playing Assassin's Creed at 3:30 in the morning because you can.
Yeah, I mean that must be awesome, man. I envy you so much.
It is, but then I obviously I have to get another job. I have to get some kind of supplemental money coming in because
you didn't do the throughout the year thing?
No, I did throughout the year.
Oh,
but I'm just saying it's just still paltry is the word I would use.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what it is. It's a hard job, and we don't get paid nearly enough as what we should.
Well, they should base it upon merit. I think.
Yeah, that's an interesting point to make. And I guess I can't really discuss. Well, I don't know if I have many opinions about the whole new legislation that they have out there in Raleigh. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
What is it?
Well, basically, they're trying to get rid of tenure in the teaching education, meaning like once you reach a certain point in your educational career that you basically get certain kinds of protections, and so
like what? They can't fire you?
I'm not really sure. All I know is that it's similar to the kind of tenure that you get at universities.
So you'd have to do something really stupid to get fired.
I think so. And so
how long do you have to be there to get that?
I think it's like 10 years in the school system. 10 years. 10 years tenure. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that.
I agree because basically, and
if you're really crappy and you just kind of hide,
exactly,
because on the sidelines for 10 years, and like, tenure,
oh, we're gonna do worksheets every day, and I'm not gonna even grade them.
Yeah, I mean, it can
they're from the 3rd grade. It's 10th grade, whatever. But if you look at it in kind of a place of business or work, and you and I both had numerous and somewhat checkered careers, and well, mine's a little more checkered than yours, but it doesn't really matter. There's always people that you've seen in those jobs that basically the only qualification that they have sometimes for those jobs is showing up on time and showing up, period.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
you're here and you're on time.
Granted, we have had some pretty crappy jobs, but you know what? We know other people too who have slightly more professional jobs, and even those jobs had people that just basically showed up, and they showed up on time, and that's pretty much the only quality they had, and they were, lazy as the day is long, and just basically didn't do a good job. And yes, I agree, tenure should not be designed to reward those kinds of people.
I agree with that too.
And yet at the same time, you wonder, like, if the EOG is the benchmark of how we do as teachers.
Sad.
It does bother me a great deal because I don't know.
No, I get that. I can totally understand where you have those kinds of feelings about it.
Yeah, but at the same time, how do you judge teachers? What's the merit that you judge them on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it the products that the kids produce? You know what I'm saying?
I guess it could be one thing, but
Yeah. But there has to be some kind of qualified data or something like that. And that's the problem because there's no universal standards for data. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. You're right. You're definitely
There really aren't. And like, okay, how do you get to judge people by something that people who work in the profession don't even know what to judge it by?
Yeah, no,
So,
I totally agree.
I mean, and that's my problem with tenure. Now, the other advantage of tenure is that it keeps teachers in the job.
Sure.
Because your turnover rate's so high.
I heard about that Texas company or the Texas school system that's offering $48,000 to start to move to Houston. Have you seen that or heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Yeah, and
I can't stand the weather in Texas.
well, they've
So
got
that's-
tornadoes and stuff.
And the heat, mainly it's the heat.
I
Tornadoes.
think Houston's, from what I hear, is fairly tornado free. I mean,
Yeah, but it's still hot.
oh yeah, it's hot most of the year.
snow. Is it fall?
No,
I
you would
can't live
hate
in a
it.
pla-
You would hate it.
I couldn't live in a place like that. No fall, no snow. I mean, Texas seems like a cool place to visit and wear a cowboy hat and drink 32-ounce beers. But I mean,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Well, you eat like I eat like a 64-ounce rib. What is that steak?
I think it's a 72 ounce actually.
I will go to Texas.
You could do
eat
it.
that.
I think you could do it.
I probably can. I probably would have no problem with it. But
I still want you to do the hams challenge locally.
well, why have we not done that?
I've been waiting on you, man. I'll pay for it.
Okay.
You can't do it because I know that you'll be able to do it. It's like $19.99 if you can't eat it. You got to eat it in 30 minutes though.
Oh, that's the trick.
Can you do it in 30 minutes? It's 3 1-pound patties of beef with
that's no
cheese, with
problem.
tomatoes, with lettuce and mayonnaise.
I don't want to eat the tomatoes. Can they substitute with something else?
I'm sure
Pickles?
they probably could. And then you have to eat the fries too. And you got to
See, that's the
That's
problem. All those
killing-
carbs
yeah.
are really an issue. I think I would soak the entire thing in cups of Worcestershire sauce
No,
and make them good and soggy.
you could probably do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The Texas.
I don't know, steak challenge.
Yeah, let's try that.
If any of you guys out there know what we're talking about, give us a call at that number. Blim it. I am so professional. 877.
722-7382. It's the Big Texan Steak Ranch. This is what it is. It is home to the free 72-ounce steak. And here are the rules.
Okay, let's hear
The
it.
rules are: the meal consists of the following: shrimp cocktail,
Ooh.
baked potato,
Mm.
salad with dinner roll,
Oh.
butter,
Wow.
and of course the 72-ounce steak. The entire meal must be completed in 1 hour.
Uh-huh.
If any of your meal is not consumed, you lose. Before the time starts, you'll be allowed to cut into the steak and take one bite. If the steak tastes good and is cooked to your specification or your satisfaction, it says this from their website, we will start the time upon your acceptable approval. The time will not stop. And the contest is on, so make sure before you say yes. Once you have started, you're not allowed to stand up, leave your table, or have anyone else touch the meal. You will be disqualified if anyone assists you in cutting, preparing, or eating of your meal. This is your contest. You don't have to eat the fat, but we will judge this. Should you become ill, the contest is over, you lose. Please use the container provided as necessary. You're required to pay the full amount up front. If you win, we refund 100%. You must sit at a table that we assign, because there's a big stage with cameras. You can go on the internet.
man.
Yeah, you can watch this
I
live.
don't want to be filmed.
And if you do not win the steak challenge, you're welcome to take the leftovers with you. No consumption or sharing of the leftovers is allowed in the restaurant once the contest is over. That's kind of weird.
That is weird.
I guess, well, yeah. If you fail to complete the challenge, you must pay the full $72. So you're paying $72, so $1 an ounce, basically.
Yeah. That's a pretty good price, actually.
That ain't bad. I mean, seeing that you get the baked potato and the shrimp cocktail and the dinner roll and all that,
See, I would take advantage. The shrimp cocktail, I think it's all about moisture.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
And maintaining moisture. So you wouldn't want your steak well done. You wouldn't want it too dry. You wouldn't want it extremely juicy.
medium.
And at the same time, you don't want to fill your body up with too much moisture either.
True.
So you have to have the moisture.
Got to
in the
balance
food.
it out.
Yeah, and the steak itself would be a problem because at the same time you don't want it too raw because it's a lot of chewing. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I don't know. I need to start working out so I don't keel over from a heart attack after that. You know what I'm saying?
That would be bad.
Yeah, I'd be like, I won.
Boom.
I survived you. You didn't make it to the end.
Oh, well, look, we're going to take our last break of the night, folks. 1-877-722-7382 if you want to give us a call. And until then, we'll leave you with some cool music. We'll see you in just a second. We're World of the Unexplained. Be right back. Come on, yeah.
Feel it.
Uh-huh.
What? I got my bicycle hat.
You have your bicycle hat? What does that even mean?
Tired, man. It's a baseball hat, the baseball hat. I'm going to just speculate that he was wearing a New York Yankees baseball hat.
I don't know. Yeah, he more than likely he was.
Just making it up. Well, but it didn't make any sense because I thought he's from Massachusetts, so maybe it's the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, he might be.
But I really think it was New York Yankees. Okay, I'm going to just narrate what Scott's doing here. Rolling around through the internet.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was looking for some neat things here. NSA is collecting millions of faces from web images.
Well, I guess I need to stop making all those selfies of myself in disguise.
They got me.
With the intention of knowing, he looks like this. That's me on a 10-gallon hat and a handlebar mustache. That'd be awesome.
That's crazy.
That's my Interpol photo. Or a monocle with a little Bismarck kind of mustache.
There you go.
And a derby hat, and I dyed white.
Wow.
My name is Von Count Zinzendorf.
Von Count Zinzendorf.
I have an eye patch and an afro and a fat suit. That's one of my other ones.
This is interesting. One of the founders of Pirate Bay has been arrested in Sweden.
What's Pirate Bay?
Pirate Bay is a website that you can go to and download illegal movies and things like that through what they call it, BitTorrents.
Wait a minute, are you saying illegal as in?
Of course, it's illegal because they put up copyrighted material that people share it with each other.
Yeah, where's the end of that chestnut? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what that meant, but I mean, I think it's
that's more of a millennial thing, I guess. But
yeah. Oh, we think we could just take whatever we want.
Apparently, he was originally 4 men linked to Pirate Bay, originally sentenced to 1 year in prison and a fine of 32 million crowns, which is $4.8 million.
It's Corona.
And
that's how you say it, Corona. Not really. I don't know if that's how you say it. But.
So wow, that's pretty wild.
I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, you got the two arguments of people feel that they should get whatever they want for free. Because it's the internet.
Yeah.
And then the other group of people's like, well, we put this stuff together,
and we should
it costs money and we should have a profit from it.
See, we always give our show away for free, because we're those kind of guys.
We're
cool.
We're scholars.
We love you. We love you. We want you to download our free stuff.
We're gentlemen of the new age.
We are.
And if you happen to just have $250,000 bag of money that you put in, you want
to give that to us as a gift, please.
I mean, that's fine.
By all means, we'll take it.
Fine. Really, you'd split it up between the two of us.
Hit us up, worldtheunexplained@gmail.com.
Yeah. Make sure that you put a big green $sign thing on it, though.
That way we'll know.
Because otherwise we might think it's something else and
phishing or something, some kind of scam.
Yeah, exactly. And it has to have the big green $sign, United States $sign.
What do you think about this whole Gitmo exchange for the American sergeant?
For the one who's in Mexico?
No. This guy was they released Sergeant Bergdahl from captivity by the Taliban, and it was a deal that we basically gave them 5 senior Taliban people that were detained in Guantanamo Bay.
Okay, and then we get 1 Marine back.
Yeah, well, we get one. I don't know if he's a Marine. Let's see. He was. We get 1 Army sergeant back. Yeah.
Well, I think any of our military guys that we could get back, whatever means necessary. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be limits, and you have to have negotiations. And if that's what the deal came to, then okay, so be it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you could get one of them out, of course, you have to worry about the whole Stockholm syndrome. And that goes both ways.
It does.
That's pretty much the premise of that TV show, Homeland. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it, but I haven't seen. I've seen it, here and there.
Yeah, but apparently it has something to do with a guy that was a American military man that was in prison, and we don't know if they turned him or not. Because they had the same kind of crap going on in Korea during the Korean War too. That's what we first started hearing about. The Koreans would imprison American GIs, and then a few of them. Supposedly they had twisted to the, to the Marxist worldview. And then they would come back in the United States, and all of a sudden they're plants for the Soviets, basically. Wow. It's the premise of that, that movie, Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah,
with Frank Sinatra, the first one.
They remade it back in the 90s.
Yeah, well, I understand that they did, but I mean the premise is still the same. That basically a foreign power.
Yeah, no, it was a good film. The original. I haven't seen the remake, but I did see the original.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good film.
Yeah, it was a great. It was the plot line was basically derived from
why I saw that film.
Why did you see that film?
I was because I was enrolled at the community college in that film as literature class. Yeah, I saw a lot of really good films that way.
Yeah, that was a really.
Did you take it?
I didn't, and I wish I did because I think it was probably really expanding your mind.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'd never even seen the Godfather movies until that class.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Those things are they really are like literature. They're like epics.
Oh, they're great.
They're like the
book, the book's great too.
Yeah. It's like they're the Homer and the they're like the Odyssey and the Iliad of
the American Mafia story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that also kind of speaks volumes of American community colleges too.
There was
the education level there, and the people who taught there, at least at Davidson County Community College. I mean, they really
cared.
They really cared, and a lot of them were professionals, and they'd been in the game a long time, and they just kind of were semi-retired, and
they didn't want to go to some big university. They just
they wanted to go someplace personal.
Yeah,
I know if I ever went to a higher education route, that's where I would go. Because the classes are smaller, the campuses are smaller. Now, granted, there's some community colleges out there that are ridiculously huge, but
like Charlotte.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel as though
we were well served in the 90s.
Yeah, they were well served. I don't know how
we were well served in the 90s there.
Yeah. That's where we it's Billy. Speaking of paranormal stuff, that's we went to the Ryan Research Institute.
Yes,
based on a college course that we took at Davidson County Community College.
Of course, we were the ones that decided upon going to the Ryan Research.
Yeah, but I mean, it was our initiative.
Yes, it was.
To do it. It's well, we're going to go there, and the professor was cool, and it's like, oh, this is awesome. Why don't we do that?
Yeah, were you here for the Chris Putnam interview?
The who?
Chris Putnam, the last pope.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, because didn't he talked about that?
He talked about Ryan Research.
Yeah.
And incidentally, for you guys at the August hour of our little show, remember we did the Gonsfeld experiment?
Yes, I do.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
And then there was that weird, I'll never forget that weird experiment where basically you clicked the mouse and you had to move the line up or down. Yeah. And it was like to demonstrate telekinesis.
Yeah, I felt terribly at that.
And I aced it. Like,
I know, you did.
Like well. I had a 90% ratio.
Oh, I will do this with my mind.
And then, ironically enough, years later, remember that whole I'll just gesture because I don't know if I really want to talk about it. The whole.
Oh yeah, that.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's going, what are they talking about?
Because that was crazy.
Yeah, they thought a football team had done that.
Yeah, like they thought the entire football team had done it.
Yeah,
it was just me.
Yeah.
So
we can't tell the story.
No, not really, but it was super
Actually,
awesome.
I'm sure the statute of limitations is probably ran. That was probably misdemeanor. I don't know.
I don't know because that was a fairly anyway. But I mean, I've often wondered that, that test that I took, and then that thing that happened, that maybe these two things had coincided.
They correlate, yeah. You're using your mind, the power of your mind to move objects in time and space.
It's pretty awesome, but no, we can't tell that story.
I don't know. We may have in an older show, but that's okay. It's not up. I don't know.
Well,
no, who knows, man? We talked for how many years, on in the show. I mean, how many? Gosh, I don't know what we've told and what we haven't. People know more about us than we do out there.
Yeah, and that's strange. I mean, we are creating our digital footprint.
We are
across the decades.
Forever.
Yeah.
And if you go to the Wikipedia page,
yep,
I actually edited the page on the HIghgate Vampire. So if you go to, they had us listed on there. I didn't put it in there. Someone else put it in there, and it went to an old broken link for the interview that we had with Bishop Manchester.
Yeah.
Well, I put the new one up, and they never came back and changed it, so I guess they felt it was good. But yeah, it takes you right into the old interview.
Sean Manchester, probably one of our crowning achievements. Why haven't you put David Ferran up?
I just hadn't
Because that's the bookshelf. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it is. It is. And I plan on
around.
doing it. I've just been busy. I still haven't put up the last 2 podcast episodes we've done.
That's true.
So I'm
Yeah, you got to put at least one
that
of them
crazy one up. Yeah, I'll put them both up. I'm just
Well, the
I
crazy
might
one
even do it tonight.
probably needs to be highly edited. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it.
Free rolling.
I might. Yeah, I might do that later tonight actually. So
Yeah.
because I was thinking about doing that. I need to just sit down in front of the computer and crank it up and listen to it and see how crazy and wild and stupid it got and see if it's good enough.
There was some pretty fun.
There was some
little
crazy
moments
stuff
there.
on there. Yeah.
I kind of miss the fact that callers sad. Really.
We just don't. No one calls in anymore.
I don't know if that's a very common thing with radio in general.
No,
makes you wonder.
we used to have a very large live audience, and I don't know what's happened. But
Well, we have to rebuild. I mean,
it's been a long time since we've been around, and we used to be an every week thing, and now it's every other week, and then some weeks we don't do it because of a holiday or a vacation
crisis.
Yeah. Life happens, and
Yeah,
but we still get some respectable downloads.
we do, and that's cool.
And we appreciate that, guys. We really do. That someone
And,
would actually want to listen to us ramble on about crazy things.
Yeah, but I mean, we have interesting stories too.
We do.
Especially the one that I just told just now.
Exactly. That no one knows what exactly happened, but it's mighty interesting.
It's just
what it is that we don't know.
Yeah, it was literally 3 hand gestures. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
But it's funny because Scott wasn't there at the time either. He had to come back and look at it
next day.
The next day.
So I did not participate in this crime.
That lackey guy. He's so
Crazy lackey guy.
sketchy.
Yeah.
I don't trust him at all.
But this is the first time Dee's missed a show. James
true.
James is usually here.
He just forgot.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying it's the first time he's always here. And when it hit like 7:15, I'm like, it's like he probably forgot. So I called and left the message, and sure enough, he called me.
It was a little sketchy. But let's talk about next 2 weeks from now. Who do we have?
2 weeks from now, we have the Reverend Aaron Long coming on.
Talking about Vatican II.
Yeah, he's going to be here in the studio live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
That'll be, you know what? That's probably one of the first sit-in live guests.
Yeah, it will be.
Do you think he'll yell?
I don't know. But Aaron's a
Possibility he might yell.
We've known him for a long time, and he's a pastor.
Yep.
And he's going to talk about Vatican II, which will be interesting. For those of you that know what that is, if you don't, well, we'll explain it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you come on down.
Come on down.
Come on down to Winston-Salem town. No, I don't know if that works or not either. I mean, that was a test. I just tested the line.
Oh.
See, Scott, you didn't even know, man. So, okay, obviously that one just doesn't strike you. That's fine.
That's fine.
Maybe I should work on that next time.
I thought of a really cool spot for, if we get some sponsors, which I'm going to try to drum up in my spare time, but I was thinking it would be really cool to relocate the studio to Kernersville again, but do it on one of those offices on Main Street where it's just a one room kind of small office that has like a big glass window, and we could set the studio up and we could look outside while we're doing a live show and have an on air switch that comes on, and we'd have a big sign that says World of the Unexplained Radio, and I think it'd be kind of cool.
I would be.
I mean, Kernersville pretty much shuts down at 9 o'clock anyway, but I mean, still, it'd just be, the first hour. But, in the summer when events are going on or something, we're out there and we're, you walk by and there'd be speakers outside or something, you could hear what we were talking about. Yeah. And, I think it'd be
I can't use I have to calm myself down. That's the problem.
I was just thinking about that today, though. It would be to be in a small town like that where it started, but just downtown,
quaint and
you're there and everybody
sleepy little Kernersville.
Everybody's like, oh, what's this? Kernersville's paranormal.
Yeah,
and it'd be kind of cool.
Kernersville used to be a hopping town there. There used to be a lot of clubs out there in Kernersville.
There was one, dude. It used to be a hopping town, and it's still there. It's just a country and western.
Oh, really?
Place, yeah.
That's kind of
interesting. It's Bucked Up Super Saloon. Yeah, that's what it's called.
That is literally like the stupidest name.
It's that used to be the old end zone. That was the old end zone.
End zone was full of a bunch of man. I don't want to say nothing. But that was.
I saw
the bouncers were jerks there. I think.
Who was it? I saw there. I saw. Oh man, that was all she wrote down. 80s band
Firehouse.
Yeah, I saw those guys there. Yeah.
Firehouse.
Yeah, chatted with them after the show too. Yeah,
No kidding.
no kidding.
I don't know.
They were really cool guys.
Yeah, they were based out of Charlotte, I think.
They were. They used to be called White Heat. And
Yeah.
Bon Jovi signed those guys.
Yeah.
He discovered them, and
Yeah.
I think he discovered them at the old Ziggy's. Actually,
What was the name of their hit song?
I don't. There's a
Firehouse.
bunch of different ones.
Baby, don't make me mad. Baby, don't make me mad. Is that it?
No,
No.
and I think that's Baby Don't Treat Me Bad.
Don't treat me bad. Listen, I mean, I'm not even in that realm.
You're not into that genre of music.
No,
I
not
understand.
at all. I try. It's just like that time we're riding around in Winston in your car, and all you did is play Round and Round by Rat.
I played the entire Rat
Album, and we sat there and listened to the entire Rat. That's RATT.
Yeah, I remember Rat. Come on.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I gave you a lot of crap for it, but
You
a lot of
did.
times it was just I was just messing with you. I mean, I knew
My
rock-
jean jacket.
I knew rock and
Long
roll.
hair.
I was just such an anti-disestablishmentarian,
You were, yeah.
Luddite,
And,
that I wasn't gonna fall.
Remember the old Datsun? You remember that? The Datsun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a fun car.
Yeah, it was.
We should get a Datsun.
No, I'm totally fine with my luxury car now.
Very model of Datsun. Just to remember what it's like to drive. And you know what? We'll probably get like, leave this thing.
This is
tiny.
awful. Yeah, exactly.
We must have
we
become-
were tiny people then.
We've become giants.
Yeah,
Apparently.
yes. I can't fit in this car. It's not the problem's not getting in; it's getting out.
Well, you have to get
It's a
one.
young man's automobile.
This is clearly for the
Young
more
gentleman.
spirited and less portly gentlemen
Yes.
of the younger generation.
Of
course, I will continue on with my horse, and you, sir, move along with your bull mastiff. Pip pip pip.
So have you come up with a Winston Salem catchphrase?
Yeah,
yet?
I just tried one. Come on,
come on down.
Come on right down to Winston-Salem town. No, there was another
awful.
thing. Yeah, no. There was another one about the Plank Road. You know the Plank Road, right?
I don't.
Yeah, the Winston-Salem Moravians had helped establish a road made out of wooden planks back in the 1850s, 1840s, 1850s, and went all the way down to Fayetteville. And so it created a system of plank road networks throughout the Piedmont and coastal plain region of
did
North
not know
Carolina. It's pretty interesting, but the Moravians, because of their craftsmanship, they helped really hew the logs and saw them because they were basically the big industry here.
Yeah.
And that plank road established, for example, the city of High Point, because
not know
High
that.
Point was really got on the map to run the transit traffic between Fayetteville and the city of Salem, because Winston wasn't there yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy, and little known fact of North Carolina history. And I saw when we were down in Ansonville a couple of weeks ago when I got picked up that horrific virus.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to knock Ansonville, but I'm just saying that
You got virus in Ansonville.
something was terrible in that place.
Something was wrong.
It was
Terribly wrong.
near the prison too.
That must be those daggone dirty prisoners.
Maybe,
They're
or
viruses.
maybe they're using them to experiment. Who knows? But when we're driving Highway 52 north back up through towards Salisbury, there was a lot of signs about Plank Road this and Plank Road that, and it's like, well, I wasn't making this crap up. It's legit.
Well, we're coming down to the wire here. I would play some outro music, but I don't know which one it was on. So I'm just gonna leave that alone. We're just gonna go out like all like dry.
Like it was acceptable back in the 80s.
Like in the day, man. We're just gonna be like later.
What?
Limousine. Is that site still around?
Yeah, it is. I think they haven't made any kind. I'm sorry. Is this annoying?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's terrible. Very good.
Tarantula.
Strong bad. Good stuff. Anyway, this is Jay Scott, and you were listening to World of the Unexplained, and we'll see you guys in another week.
Yeah, man. Plank Road it. Sorry.
Have a good night.
Bye.